Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. Joining us today at the round table of dim lighting is YouTuber, Viner, rapper, vlogger, the talented and tenacious DeStorm Power.
DeStorm, he's a 2011 American Music Awards winner with over 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, and he is the number 21 top-ranked Viner with 4.6 million followers.
I mean, we're happy to call DeStorm a friend of ours. We've collaborated on multiple occasions. We discussed the first time we met, which I had forgotten, but he brings up in our conversation.
Mm-hmm. And Long time ago.
I was glad that he brought that up because I certainly remembered that meeting. Once he
made you remember it, you remembered it.
Yeah. His YouTube fame really exploded when he started performing rap songs based off of challenges from his fans and a schedule that he also shares with us. His catchphrase was another day, another challenge. It was a challenge from his fans, and then he would just have less than a week to turn it into a catchy rap song, just like this one, involving solving a Rubik's Cube.
If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Watch me take this color cube and help you resolve it. Wanna solve your Rubik's Cube? First you gotta pray. Nah, I'm only kidding. Let me show you the way. See, first you get the top, which is relatively easy. It all starts out with a simple TC. Align your T with the colors on the side. Let's finish up the top. By these rules you must abide.
DeStorm also writes and performs original songs for his YouTube channel. His most recent one of those is Victory Dance.
Go girl, shake it like that. Go girl, shake it like that.
Like that.
Go girl, shake it like that.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
girl, shake it like that.
yeah. I went hard for the whole summer. I had to give me something that the people like. You got bills on your mind, I got meals up on mine. I'm assuming we don't think alike.
But as of late, DeStorm's been getting amazing traction on Vine, racking up millions of loops, 6 seconds at a time. Actually, up to 6.5 seconds. I learned that today, I gotta say. I'm a little ignorant about that. With Vines like Robbery Gone Wrong, where DeStorm and fellow Viner, very popular Viner, King Batch, approach a man to rob him, only to realize that when he turns around, he's a priest.
Give me your money. Don't make this hard.
What did you say, my child?
He said donate to God.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice watch, brother. Thanks.
So the more that you watch this thing, it kind of sucks you in, the funnier it gets. I mean, you can't do it justice just by hearing the audio. And there's just a fascinating science to the world of vining that DeStorm has not only experienced, but helped dictate what is most successful on Vine. I love the fact that that he's able to talk about it in such a detailed way, and that
define Vine.
To define it and define it by his actions. So, I mean, it was really cool to talk about that. We talked to him about a lot of things: his bizarre kneecap injury, a detailed account of his amazing backstory. I mean, we're talking the type of stuff that should be in a movie tomorrow. And if DeStorm wants to get into more acting, I guess he could play himself.
That'd be weird.
Or I could play him. That would also be weird.
Yeah, for another reason.
You could play him. That would be weird. Let's not get into casting.
Yeah, let's not do that.
My point is that his story it should be in a movie.
Yes.
But it's here on an Ear Biscuit, and you're going to enjoy it. And we also talked about his frustrations with YouTube and all the new opportunities that Vine is affording him. So keep listening for that.
90%, Link, that is the percent of your life that you're in your underwear.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, have
you been keeping records? Because that's creepy.
I think I'm 98, maybe 99, maybe even more than 99. I wear underwear pretty much all the time, except when I'm bathing. The reason I'm talking about
that's it. You should really think about it.
Everybody knows the feeling of putting on old saggy underwear, but you need to know the feeling of great fitting underwear that's two times softer than cotton. You need to know about MeUndies.com.
All right, you've heard us talk about MeUndies before. They are the most comfortable underwear you will ever wear. It's insane how good they make you feel. And not just where they are. They make me feel good emotionally everywhere. They fit perfectly, they don't ride up, and they literally pull moisture away from my skin, making me feel cool.
And you look cool, but I mean, I don't see you in them, but you look like you.
So you're keeping record of what percentage of my life is in underwear and how cool I look in my underwear. None of this is good.
No, not you. Just people who wear these look cool. I have a big mirror in my bedroom. I've seen myself in them.
And Rhett has shared that he has gone full MeUndies. You have no other underwear. I'm on the verge of that because I have a good set of them. And I'm noticing a phenomenon when I go to my underwear drawer now. There's a telltale test, and that's not a pun, or I guess it was. And which ones I reach for, and I always reach for the MeUndies, and then when they're gone, I got to go to these other pair, and I'm just not happy or as cool.
They're lacking. The other ones are lacking. And so the ladies won't be left out. These are not just underwear for men. They're styles for men and women. You can check them out on the website. And also, we'll make it easy for you. You can go to MeUndies.com/Rhett Link. Get 20% off your first order with free shipping, and you can save even more if you buy a pack of them.
They guarantee you're going to be happy, or your first pair is free. Once you feel MeUndies on your body, you'll never go back.
And remember, to get that 20% off, go to MeUndies.com/Rhett and Link.
Now enjoy our ear biscuit with DeStorm Power. So how long have you been without eating? How starving are you right now?
I'm starving. I got up at like 7 a.m.
Ooh.
to start the day because, you don't
eat breakfast?
No, just dinner.
What?
But I haven't had dinner because I had an interview at Fox.
None of this sounds right, DeStorm.
It feels...
So for me.
No, you feel good, after you eat that meal.
But what about that theory about eating a bunch of little meals during the day? I mean,
it's a great theory. I'm a personal trainer. I believe in that theory.
You're doing the complete opposite, though.
Well, yeah, that's just so I can just get like really nice and sexy real quick.
Okay, I want to hear. Can you tell us the kneecap injury story?
The kneecap injury. I was with Amir Johnson from the Toronto Raptors.
Because this was. Oh, really? This was 2 years. This is when we shot Christmas Sweats.
Yeah, I was messed up.
Yeah, it had happened. You were just in recovery then, and so it's been over 2 years. Over 3 years ago.
No, it hasn't even been 2 years yet.
So it must have been Christmas.
It must have been Christmas Face.
It was Christmas Face.
But I've been obsessed with this story, so
okay.
I want to hear it in its entirety.
What
happened?
I had a show that I was actually filming for YouTube called Make Me Hot, where I actually write a song for an athlete, and in return, they have to make me hot in their respectable sport. So episode 1 was, what's the girl who won? Kerry Shrugs, who won the Olympics. Remember, she flipped and landed on one leg and won it for the girl. So she was episode 1. She was showing me some stuff on the balance beam, and in return, I had to make her a hot song. We did the song. Episode 1 was great. Episode 2 was Amir Johnson from the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
My job was to make him a hot song in the studio, and then in return, we're supposed to do a little one-on-one basketball. We did the one-on-one basketball, then we decided we want to have a dunk contest. So we're up there, we're just dunking basketballs, we're just going crazy, ape with it.
Well, hold on, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1", almost. 6'1", 6.5 to 6'1".
And you can dunk a basketball? I mean, I'm 6 foot, and I couldn't. I can't touch the net.
Oh yeah, I could grab the rim from the free throw line. I'm black.
Oh well.
Yeah, you seem kind of confused about this.
We need to go back there. Okay. Let's start with that. You're black. Okay.
Okay. So Africa is a continent.
Okay, so dunk contest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this wasn't part of the actual show. We were just showing off, and then we were outside, and I slipped on some gravel. And I hyperextended my knee, and I guess all those years, because I was a professional triple jumper in my time also. Everyone knows I was Olympic development triple jumper. So I had a lot of bounce. So I went up on that right leg, and when I went up on that right leg, you just heard this loud-ass pop. It was like, pop! And that was my knee in midair. It's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you saw the video, because we were shooting it for the YouTube video.
I know. I haven't seen the video.
Oh, well, go watch the video.
I didn't even know.
Let me shut up. I can just stop talking. No, but I went down, bam, landed on my back, and I was kind of in shock. So I was looking for my kneecap. So I'm on the ground where the hell is my kneecap?
Because what do you mean? You looked at your knee and the kneecap was not there.
It wasn't there.
Therefore, you started looking on the ground?
Yes, that's what you're supposed to do.
Because it wasn't capping the knee.
When a part of your body is not, let me explain something.
It's like when change falls out of your pocket.
when
it must be on the ground.
Exactly. When something falls apart from your body,
you were looking for a lost contact. You're like crawling around.
If you were in the military, let me explain something. If you're in the military and a part of your body gets shot off in war, you're going to look for your arm or your leg, right?
Okay.
No?
Yes.
Okay. So I was looking for my kneecap. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. I grew up with kneecaps for 32 years, and I wanted to know where my kneecap was.
And it wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
And then what?
So I'm looking and Amir Johnson stands over me and he's like, there's your kneecap. It was in my thigh.
Like, okay, so where in the thigh?
Well, my patella tendon, which is one of the biggest tendons in your body, popped. This tendon holds your kneecap onto your tibia bone, which is the bottom, the bone in front of your calf muscle. So for the people at home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. So it rolled up like a fruit roll up. My quad muscle rolled up like a fruit roll up and my kneecap was still taped to that.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it because I didn't look as high as my thigh. And I was just looking on the ground
How many inches up your thigh are we talking?
I was about 4 or 5 inches up my thigh.
It was just like a kneecap bulge.
It had to be about 6 inches.
And when you found it, were you like, I found my kneecap?
That's about 9 inches up my thigh. So I'm looking for my kneecap, and he told me where it was. He gave me guidance. We called the
And
paramedics.
so then do you start like working it back down like a tube of toothpaste or what?
Smart. That's what I did.
You
I
did
worked it
that?
down. I did that. You see, every
Hold on,
human.
were you supposed to do that?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, because we're human.
Did you Google this first?
No, it's funny that you did the exact motion that I did when my kneecap was locked. That's exactly what I did.
I would have fainted. That's the motion I would have done.
Well, you're in shock because you don't feel anything when you pop something so big.
Did it hurt immediately or just shock?
No, you don't feel it because it's so big. It's like when someone gets stabbed 27 times, they just call the cops. They don't feel the stab. It's so much. It's so much pain that it overwhelms your brain. So that's what happened. Then when I got in the ambulance, I cried like a bitch. But, before that, I was good.
But before you got in the ambulance, you pushed it back down all the way.
But it wasn't stay.
It wouldn't stay, of
It
course.
rolled back up because there's no tendon.
It's like a yo-yo.
Like a window shade.
Exactly. So they sutured it back together, and I had to take 9 months on. I had to do 9 months on the crutch.
And and that's when you showed up for, I guess it was Christmas Face. You had. Did you have you didn't have a cast on it then, so the cast was off.
Yeah, so I did 9 months in, and I was just doing limp. I had a very weak leg. The thing is, like,
it got small. You showed it to us.
Atrophy did nothing, right?
The atrophy, you don't use that limb, so it's about the size of my arm. I can show you a picture where my actual right leg was the size of my arm. Because it was just bones. I had no muscle. It's funny how fast you lose muscle. I'm gonna eat this granola bar as we speak. It's so fast.
Is this the one meal right here?
This is part. Actually,
oh, wait, hold on. So you eat throughout the day and call that one big meal?
It's not really one meal a day. I'm doing. You get to eat when the sun goes down. Let's just say
I got you. I get it. I get it.
The sun's down.
It is.
Hey guys, the sun's down.
It's definitely down.
All right, this is risky because you're doing most of the talking. So you're gonna have to swallow that.
No, that's fine. I'll just hold it in my cheekbone like a chipmunk.
That's fine.
I think we've had eating before on this show. I've done my fair share of eating.
This is the first time y'all had eating on this show. Holla at your boy.
All right, so we got to talk Vine. I know, having talked to you over the years, when it comes to Vine, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to any type of social media, you're a student of the medium. Your brain, like from the first time I ever met you, it's like your brain is going 90 miles an hour in just laying claim to
takeover mode.
Whatever the digital space has to offer. Mm-hmm. So I want to be schooled on Vine. We don't do Vine.
Why?
We've talked to some Viners, but I mean, there's only so much margin.
The videos are too long.
Yeah, they're pretty long.
Yeah, it just takes too much time.
Vine is difficult, man. I find Vine actually sometimes more difficult than YouTube because you have 6 seconds to make millions of laugh. It's difficult to do that, So if your punch is not in, a lot of times when we're creating a Vine, we get a team of people together, sometimes 8 to 10 people. We sit in the room, we come up with ideas and things like that. And you have to make it perfect. So sometimes a Vine could take hours to do just to get that 6 seconds so good that everybody will be like, no, this is funny.
Because there's such a limiting factor.
Such a limiting factor.
What was your first reaction when hearing about Vine? 5 to 6 seconds. Like your first reaction. First thing you thought.
Well, Vine wasn't initially used for the skits that we did. We brought the skits to Vine because it really was just used. People was doing like little quick spurts, at first. And then I saw some people doing like quick stories and things. Then when we started doing like the slapstick, quick skits, it was like, whoa, this is something.
But why? What made you decide to do anything? And
I knew it was
because of who you are,
No.
or was there something specific?
Did you have somebody that you knew that was already doing it?
No. Actually, my boy Batch started doing it. King Batch started doing it a few days before me, and me and him kind of like started to challenge each other on it. It's like, oh, now I got 1,000 followers, and I think I started with 3,000 followers by default because my YouTube was big, and he said he was gonna catch me, and I didn't want him to catch me.
Did you start? Were you like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it in this way? Like, let's do sketches.
Yeah, because we didn't know we started doing like just funny stuff. And then sketches just came about. We started doing like tricks because back in the day you couldn't do effects and things.
Yeah, because so you were actually using the app, like you were using the constraints of the app, like
Right.
literally pointing and holding down.
Point and shoot. Yeah,
Point
but
and
we
shoot.
would trick the camp. We were trying to trick the audience and do things that we were trying to every day. We would try to do something impossible with.
example.
So there were times where you would show up in one area, and then stop Vine and then show up again and try to make it flawless. So you like try to make a flawless, seamless cut.
You're like putting your iPhone or phone on a tripod. Like, how are you doing?
No,
that?
we would just shoot straight off the hand. So we had like we had like what we call shooters, like some of the best Vine shooters in the world. So we would just practice the craft of shooting Vine. So we would practice and then we had different pans that we had, like the whip pan. Then we had like the fish pan, and we started to make up our own types of shooting pans to actually. So a whip pan was something where you would like act like you slap somebody and they would turn into someone else.
So when's the book coming out?
So I mean, you can't really do any of that stuff anymore because they allow you to actually upload now. So you can just and like these days you could use iMovie.
You're editing You're
Yeah.
editing the videos.
Yeah, you could use iMovie, you could use Final Cut, you could use Premiere, whatever
But
you
there
want.
was an intermediary period there when you had a hack to do that before they allowed you to.
Oh,
right?
you had to hack your way in. You had to
in order to upload a pre-edited video.
Right, it was called handbrake. So you had to handbrake the video. It was like 3 or 5 to 6 steps you had to go through. But you can also do 6.9, which people will be like, that's not a lot more to get a half a second. But a half a second when you got 6 seconds is a whole world of difference. That's a whole joke.
Tell us about.
You get an extra. Hold on. You get an extra half second.
When you was uploading back then, you was able to do 6.9.
Oh.
So a lot of our vines was 6.9. So it just made it clear. You could make the joke more clear. You didn't have to do it in the restraint of 6.5.
But now
it's stuck at 6.5. They won't allow you to do it anymore.
Explain the genius of the loop. I mean, when you first hear about Vine as an outsider, the first thing is 5 to 6 seconds. That's nothing. That's crazy. That this could never be an art form. We never saw that coming. Meaning me. And then and it loops.
The loop made it phenomenal. I knew that it would be the next level because the first time you watch it, it's like cool. The second level you chuckling, and third, by the time you see it 5 times, not only can a jingle be stuck in your head, but you're laughing out loud to something that you didn't see was funny, or you missed things and you see it again. The loop just made it ingenious, especially business wise. So we knew that I knew that it would just be the next thing. And I knew that's where Instagram had messed up. They tried to come back and combat with video. I laughed at it and I said, you don't have the loop. You messed up.
And they still don't have the loop.
They don't have the loop. And Vine made it so that the loop was seamless. So the loop comes back around and hits you in the face every time. So what you have to do is you have to put your punch right on that loop. And when you do that, you're going to make people laugh.
Yeah, that's when you've got like the face, or I mean, there's always something in each one of your vines that when there's multiple things, but it's just like, oh, look at the expression that he had.
So you hit him with the expression, and you know it's going to loop him.
Like we were just watching the one where you're moving the guy's scooter. And then he comes up from behind the fence, and then you're like, what year is this? You got a helmet, and like it cuts you off in the middle of you
have
asking.
to be cut off. It's the cut off.
It cuts you off in the middle of the sentence, and it's genius.
You have to do cut off. The cut off's important.
It's great.
The slap has got to cut off on a slap, has to cut off in the middle of a conversation because that's what people laugh at. If you finish the joke, it's not a joke anymore. So the joke is the cut off.
And how'd you discover what people liked?
Trial and error. I know within the first 3 minutes whether or not I delete a vine.
Whether or not you delete a Vine.
Well, there's heaters and there's deleters. You got a heater because you're doing your numbers. Your numbers have to be looping. You have to be doing a certain amount of numbers and a certain amount of likes or revines within a certain amount of time. If not, it's a delete. So off the top, even if you got Team Revine, which is basically your crew who revines your vines to help it blow up and make the top of the popular page, whether it's a heater or deleter. So
how much time?
I know, and I've been doing it long enough to know in 3 minutes. Sometimes I wait till 7 minutes.
And what's the percentage of deleters? Because you're trying to do
I do about
one a day, right?
No, It depends. Well, it's so much competition now, but if you're still in the top 10 of the comedy channel, then I'll keep it up and I don't have to do one until I can take a day off. But if I'm not in top 10, then I know I fall down into like the top 20 percentile. Then I'm at the top 20 vines on the comedy page. I know I got to do one the next day.
And so, what is the?
But then but then the question of how many of them are you deleting? What's the percentage there? 1
I
out
don't-
of 10, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 40?
Probably like no, it could be one out of 10, 2 out of 10 sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I do about 80%.
I mean, it's certainly powerful in post when you go back through them. It's like everything hits and there's not a
Right.
dud in the batch.
you have to have all heaters on your channel so your numbers can continue to grow. Because when someone new goes to your account, you want them to see heater after heater. Like, oh my God, this guy's the funniest guy in the world.
And all of these principles you guys invented / discovered.
we made them up.
And who is the crew that yours that you're talking about?
My main crew is
I
about
definitely know Batch.
Yeah, it's about 10 people. It's myself, King Batch, Clarity, Melvin Gregg, Alfonso, Anwar Jabawi. There's Max, Jerry, and Dan. Some of the like Rudy Mancuso, maybe even Logan and his brother. But the main, Paige Kennedy, Leanne V, even my assistant, she's getting into it. It's really hard to find funny girls. Sometimes we work with Brittany. But the main crew is usually the hub of like 10 guys, like what's good. Whoever's in my group chat, I can tell you by just looking at my group chat, because we have like an ongoing group chat that goes on every day with us like homies. And then we take the vines, we throw them in the group chat, and if everybody doesn't really approve, we pretty much, don't put it up. So like, I think I named everybody.
But that's just
Big Kane, yeah.
But that's just to critique each other. You're not pulling together finances too, right? I mean, it's more of
We're just homies. We just critique each
yeah.
other's vines. Like I'll throw it in the group chat, and it's kind of like if
they don't like
10
it,
people
that's
don't
just
like
feedback.
it. Yeah.
No, I definitely get the impression that there are more successful black viners than there are successful black YouTube comedians.
Oh yeah.
And do you guys?
Definitely.
What are the reasons for that? And do you think that you guys kind of forming this crew is been instrumental in that?
Well, you had at one point, kind of like YouTube, you had the LA Viners, you had the Detroit Viners, you had the New York Viners, you had the Miami Viners. Then they all hubbed and everybody's in LA now because Vine is so big. Our comedy troupe is just like, we're like the LA Viners. I think it does play the point that we do work with each other and continue to help each other's audience grow. Kind of like, you do on YouTube.
But is it a black thing you wouldn't understand kind of situation?
No.
That's is than YouTube, or is there something about the?
It's because the type of jokes you could tell on Vine you can't really tell on YouTube, because like you could tell racial jokes and like edgier jokes on your Vine, and on YouTube the comments are just different. Like if I tell the same joke on YouTube, if I did something where I slap a white person and then they slap a black person back, people on YouTube are like, oh my God, this is racist, you got to take this down. On Vine, it's just like, oh my God, they're so funny. It's just the way we led the audience to say Vine. Like we say so many times on Vine, they just laugh now. If you say it on YouTube, they're going to definitely pull it. You know what I'm saying? Vine is just more edgy, and they allow you to get away with a lot more stuff on Vine because it's like the Wild West. So a lot of the jokes that we tell on Vine, I can't do on YouTube. My audience on YouTube is just way more picky than they are on Vine. They just crybabies more so. And on Vine, it's just like, okay, this is funny, let's go. It's
Right.
that type of comedy.
I mean, is it like a different audience? Do you have a whiter audience on YouTube and a blacker audience on Vine? Can you even tell?
No, I don't think it's a difference. I don't think it's a different audience. I think it's just different people. I think it's different people altogether. I never pushed my Vine for my YouTube until I hit almost 2 million followers on Vine. I never even pushed it. So like there's a lot of people on Vine that don't even know I do music. So they're like, oh my God, you rap? I'm like, what? I've been doing this forever, So
Right.
I never wanted to mesh audiences like that. I always wanted to get a new audience. Every time even when I go to like Snapchat or Facebook, I built a totally new audience.
Where do all the fabulous looking women come from in your Vines?
Oh, well, Vine is 70% female, so you're always going to find Vine. And everyone wants to do a Vine. The thing about it is they don't realize how long it takes, but they say it's just 6 seconds of my time. That's why we work with everybody. That's why we didn't contact anyone, from Bieber to Floyd Mayweather to whoever we work with, that we already work with. They contacted us because they don't mind doing 6 seconds. But it's like YouTube, like, oh, they got to get cameras, I got to go here. It's just, I think it's all in the mentality of how people think about it. So people don't mind lending you 6 seconds. When it comes to the ladies,
So the beautiful women aren't friends.
no, a lot of my friends. I'm always gonna have beautiful girls in my vines because we know that's what sells. Beautiful girls sell, and you get hit up by every beautiful girl in the world wants to hit you up once you got those numbers.
All right, so we'll go in. Let's go back in the business direction.
Yeah, let's talk bigger
I'll let it
bucks
swing.
because I do want to know. I've heard of people throw around. Okay, well, yeah, these Vine brand deals are just going wild. Like
Brand deals are crazy over
Because
Vine.
there's no partner program.
No.
With YouTube, you can just slap ads around and over, and Google takes care of all that, and you just get your cut, and you know.
Yeah, but with Vine, it's the Wild West. Like I said, companies hit you up, independent indies hit you up. You know they sometimes they just PayPal you a load of money, and then you just do a 6-second Vine for them. There's some weeks.
What's one you're proud of?
I did some one for Beats that I still kept up because I just like the numbers that I did on it. You know, I did one for Beats.
And what was the creative? Like, how did you put? Was it the headphone? Was it
was
the
the
pill?
headphone commercial thing. You know, they did on the main commercial where the camera goes around the headphones. Mine was music changes through time. So I did something from the 80s, then 2000, then 2015.
You're wearing the headphones the whole time, and your
it starts as a little
wardrobe changes.
No, the wardrobe stays the same, but it starts as a mini me, supposed to be about, I guess I'm like 9 or 10. Or maybe even younger, like 5. Then it goes to like son, who's supposed to be me again. He's 14. Then it goes to me, you know, a grown man. And it's like the songs change. So it goes from like, I think a Michael Jackson song to like maybe Bye 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 to Young Thug, where you can't even understand
so
the lyrics.
you use these unlicensed clips.
Well, that's because it's the Wild West. You can use whatever you want on Vine.
And
and
was there
Beats
like
doesn't care.
They don't
there
care.
was no the agency person or the brand person that you always
It's not
have to
YouTube.
deal with?
There's no ads or whatever, so they don't care. You can use whatever you want. You can any music you want. People love when you use their music on Vine. One of our main jobs on Vine is to break music. I get contacted from almost every label out, from Universal to Capitol. We broke so many songs last year that you probably wouldn't even know, from Wiggle to My Hitter to whatever. Viners broke those songs. I got a check and I dispersed it amongst 5 or 6 Viners on my team, and we break the song.
And so then some of them you just say, okay, well, in the contract I got to keep this thing up for a week, and then I'm gonna take it down. Or
For a brand deal, yeah, we keep it up. I mean, the contract is usually a week or to 10 days because that's when the Vine kind of like dies out and you pull it. I just didn't pull the Beats one because I liked it. But I've put up brand deals, and then after a week it goes down. We pushed apps to the top of the App Store. You know, we pushed songs to the top of the iTunes charts. I put a song out myself, and it sat on the top of iTunes charts in the hip hop section for 2 weeks. So.
I mean, so you've obviously asserted yourself in this medium, and you've done so much with YouTube, and we've got all the history there. But I'd love to paint more of derive the whole backstory, and just go back to that.
Okay.
So give us the DeStorm backstory. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in I was born in Virginia, stayed there for like not even a year, and then my mom moved, and I have 7 siblings. I grew up in Baltimore, the projects of Baltimore City. Baltimore is a very unique town. Baltimore is one of the only cities in this country that they use to actually test new drugs. So, like, if you think
Who's
about
they?
like the government, whoever it is, like if there's a new drug on the market, they just pump it in the black community in Baltimore. So that's a lot of crackheads. Like when they say crackheads, that's like Baltimore. That's where it pretty much was invented.
Well, I think of The Wire, the series.
The Wire is like a very polished version of Baltimore.
And it's super gritty.
And it's super great.
It's a great. I mean, have you watched it, or you're like, well, I lived that. I don't want to watch it.
I watched some of it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is not really my town. I mean, my town's worse than this.
Worse than that.
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine. What do you mean worse? How could it be worse than the
Wire?
What white people enjoy on television? As close as
because I actually
what it
saw
is,
it.
huh?
I saw like bodies in those row houses. When coming home from school, I would see dead bodies in the row houses. I seen like a 7-year-old girl get shot in the head in the bodega. They don't call it bodegas in Baltimore, in the corner store. You see some crazy shit.
How old were you when you see a 7-year-old get shot in the head?
I was probably like 13.
And this was just stray gunfire?
Well, yeah, because some guy owed another guy money. He didn't have it, and he shot at him, and it hit the girl.
Did you know her?
I didn't know the girl. No, she probably was from the projects across the street. But I mean, in Baltimore, you fighting every day. I mean, there wasn't a day that went by where we wasn't in some type of fight, or me and my brothers wasn't fighting other kids and stuff. So. And
you said in your Draw My Life video on YouTube that your mom and you the kids, you guys left your dad, and that was when, or your dad left. Or
well,
how did that
before
work?
I was living in the projects, my mom and dad was not unhappily married, and he was abusive. So my father was an abusive man, and he would hit on my mom. So I would fight him, and he would knock me out. So she didn't want me to grow up and either kill him or him kill me. So she left and took the kids, and he didn't give her the house. So that's when we moved to the projects. So she took the kids, we moved to the projects, and then it's like, whoa, crap, I'm 13, just becoming a teenager, and I'm living in the projects now. I got to learn how to not be a suburban-ish middle-class kid. Now I got to learn how to be a ghetto kid. So from 12, I think I was 12. So from 12 to, 17 or 18, I'm growing up in the projects, trying to learn to adapt.
And so at that point, was your dad just completely out of the picture?
Yeah, he was bounced. He was some crazy liberalist who was, a conspiracy theorist who just dipped. I don't even know if he's still alive. I heard a few years ago that he was dead somewhere, so I don't know.
How did you adapt?
To the projects, you learn how to fight. My mom put me in things like karate, so I had my purple belt and taekwondo, and you learn how to just street fight a lot. We didn't have money, so we moved around a lot. I went to 5 elementary schools, 5 middle schools, and we would just get evicted a lot. We was eating from behind the supermarkets, just ghetto shit. And to adapt, we would just fight. I had my brothers. My mom just taught us to stick together. You can't come in the house unless you bring your brothers with you. So it was one of those things where family was just tight. We're still tight today because of the things that she taught. So you learn how to just become conniving. I boost cars and running, just things I wasn't so proud of, but breaking in people's houses and stuff, to survive. It's just what we did as teenagers.
Did you get caught?
Yeah, I got caught. I went, I got locked up a few times. I went to juvie first, and then, when you first get locked up, the first thing they say is you got to go in there and you got to knock somebody upside the head, or you're gonna become somebody's bitch. So I went in and I just had to knock some kid upside the head, so they would know that I wasn't playing games.
That worked?
Oh yeah, it worked.
And so you were the youngest boy in the family, right? It's younger sisters, but all older brothers.
Oh yeah, 4 younger sisters, 3 older brothers. One of my brothers was he wasn't in the house as much because he was slinging. He was a street pharmacist.
Oh, I get it.
Right.
Oh, yes.
So I mean, with 3 older teenage brothers in this, the outcome of a black male in that situation, it typically a lot of times either you get killed dead. Or you go to prison.
Or you go to prison, or you die of something like some disease or something. I mean, I don't have any friends that grew up in that area that made it out, but my mom she was one of those types that kept us in activities. I think it was a blessing that we didn't have a TV and radio, so she kept us just doing creative things. We would make up songs and just rap about cars going down the street, and we would and then she sent me to the School of the Arts on a scholarship because I was a good artist. So I went to Baltimore City School of the Arts, and I started drawing murals on church walls and in mosques and things like that of the Last Supper and Allah.
With permission.
With permission. I didn't just break in and do it, guys.
So did the juvie experience, was that the awakening, and then it was the turning point to positivity, or did it go further in the opposite direction after that?
No, it went further in the opposite direction after that. I think the awakening was, just realizing how hard my mother was working to try and do something positive. I'm she's busting her ass to get us to do something, and just seeing everybody around me die.
How bad did it get for you personally?
It got bad, but I think the music. I was always running track, but there's never no money in track and field. But the music, when our song hit the radio, and my mother, she approached me, she's like, God, you boys, you're talented. You got nothing, and you got a song that's playing in all the nightclubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had, they had Baltimore club music, make way for the big girl, boom, 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 all that type of stuff. So we had 2 hits on the radio.
Me and
my brother.
Okay.
So, my brother actually, I felt was more talented than me. He was a better rapper. He just had more skills.
And did that come from mixtapes being passed around, or from knowing somebody and having
no, we knew a
in
DJ.
The studio?
We knew a DJ, and we would just go into his studio and just do stuff. And then we had a song that just blew up, and then all of the radio just picked it up. And then my mother was like, if you can make it here, then just go to New York and see if you can make it there. And I'm like, 17, 18 years old, my son's on the way, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. So they threw me a party, and I just went to New York. Yeah. So
how old were you when you had your son?
I guess I was turning 18 when Tavion was born. 18 or 19 years old. I wasn't 20 yet.
But you were, so before he was born, you went off to New York in order to
So yeah, so I
take your mom up on her challenge.
Well,
Another day, another challenge.
Another day, another challenge. I knew a guy named Doobie who worked at Bad Boy Records, and me and him would talk back and forth. And I remember me being in Maryland, and I did like 100 drops for different DJs, and I would email them to them, and they were using them in their mixtapes. So my name was blowing up. It was like this DeStorm guy. He's kind of like blowing up on the mixtape scene. And then he was, and then Doobie heard my stuff. He was like, man, you got to come to New York. I work at Bad Boy. And in your mind, someone works at a label, you're gonna go. You're like, oh. I'm like, this is huge. So I packed up my little Eclipse. I got a little money to get that. I was working at Red Lobster down in Maryland, and I packed my Eclipse, and I just went to New York. I landed. I was staying in this crackhead's house on 134th and Adam Clayton Powell. And, when I got there, I'm working at Bad Boy as an engineer with him. And he got fired because him and I think like Harv, Pierre, I don't know who it was at the time, they got into an argument. And then Doobie was like, man, if you came here with me, we out. And I'm like, hold up, what you mean we out? I came all the way from Baltimore. I can't just be out. But my loyalty I had to roll with him. So I didn't have that gig anymore. But I had my job from Red Lobster transferred to
New York.
Actually, I worked there with Alpha Cat from YouTube.
Really?
Also, yeah,
the same Red Lobster in New York?
In
at
New
the
York.
same
That's
time?
where you met.
At the same exact time. That's where I met Alpha Cat. So we were working at Red Lobster, Times Square or whatever, and I got fired because I had these long braids in my hair. And I remember, like, even Alpha Cat was like, man, you might want to cut your hair. It's your only job. I ain't cutting my hair. Samson lost his hair. He lost his power. I'm on some shit like that. And then next thing you know, I got fired. But I sued the whole Red Lobster organization and I won.
How long did that take?
It took years. But the point is, I won. So I didn't get any money at the time. So I'm jobless. And my last check was like
You got 7 different types of shrimp on
on
one plate.
The scampi.
Your settlement.
I was like, man.
Lifetime shrimp.
And Alfredo sauce and biscuits.
Cheddar biscuits.
But at the time, you have braids, but you have no job. You have no Bad Boy Connect.
I had nothing. I had a check.
Then what?
I had a check for like $400, and with the $400 some odd dollars, I forgot what it was. I guess you gotta watch my Draw My Life plug. And so with the $400 and some odd dollars, I bought 5 items, and I called my brother and I told him what I was gonna do. It was my master plan. At the time, I think back and I guess I'm crazy, but I paid my cell phone bill for 2 months. I bought 2 outfits. I bought an amp and a keyboard. I got tinted windows for my car. And I think
Tinted windows for your car.
Right. So let me tell you the plan. So the plan was I knew, the crackhead, right, whose house I was living in, she had this pimp, and he was a big black dude, right? And I knew I couldn't take him, or at least I didn't think I could take him. So I knew if I didn't pay him his rent, he was gonna kick me out of the house, right? So I said, all right, this is gonna kick me out of the house, so I need to tint the windows on my car so I can have somewhere to live.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
So
Privacy.
Right. So I bought the amp and the keyboard.
Which is ironic because it's an Eclipse.
That's good. That's good.
You're right. I bought the amp and the keyboard because I knew that I needed a job. I knew that I had a little bit of pipes on me. And so I said, in New York, no one knows my face like that. I could go into the subways and I can sing and make some money, at least so I could put gas in the car and get food every night until I get back on my feet. So that was going to be my job. So that was the amp and the keyboard thing.
Right.
Right. So then I bought the 2 outfits because I knew I had to continue to do gigs throughout New York because I wanted to get a big break. So I was still doing shows in Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan, doing shows and you got to look good at these shows because no one's going to take your demo or anything if you don't look good at the shows. So I had to get the outfits. Got to look dope in New York. Got it? So finally, I paid my phone bill for 2 months because the scariest person in the world to me is my mother. And if she can't get in contact with me and I don't have my phone on, she's going to whip my ass. Plus, I was lying to her, telling her I was hanging out with Diddy and stuff. And she's going to be like, how's your phone off if you hanging with Diddy? So I had to keep living this lie.
Oh, wow.
So I kept my phone on and said, F it, I'm going to just keep my phone on. So that was what I did with the last bit of the money. So next thing you know, I'm living in my car and everything's starting to work out. I told my brother what happened. He thought I was crazy, and we continued on that road.
So your brother was up there with you too?
No, he was back home telling me, bring your ass home and take that $400 and get on that Greyhound.
And did it get worse before it got better?
Oh, it got way worse. I came home one day and the car that I was living in,
the
Eclipse. Oh, come on, man, it's a dope car. Whoever has an Eclipse, man, shout out to you. The Eclipse got burned up.
sorry for laughing.
So they burned.
You weren't in it, I hope.
No, I was coming to home, and they burned my clips was burnt down. They said it was some kids.
Okay, so it was a solar eclipse.
It was a solar.
Yeah. The tinted windows didn't help.
Dude, I can't.
It was a solar eclipse.
This story is crazy.
Hey man, I'm gonna eat some more of this granola bar. It was a solar eclipse. They burned my car down. The amp, keyboard, everything was in the eclipse. It's sad.
Your whole life was in there.
My whole life. I had the outfit on my back and my phone in my pocket, but I had to pay the bill. I was with Sprint. You know, they cut you off once you go a penny over. Everybody was Sprint. Y'all know that. This ain't AT&T or Verizon.
They burned your...
Okay, so what happened then?
Who is they, by the way?
I don't know. The cops said it was some kids who did it, or they said it was an electrical fire. But I didn't get it because it was the middle of February. It was freezing. Snow was like freaking 5 feet high. How does it even aflame at that temperature?
Science.
I don't know.
Definitely weird science.
I mean, so then what? You're homeless.
I'm homeless. Eventually, I find myself living in the subway. So I'm in the subway system, and I was one of those homeless people in New York.
What were you thinking at that point? You know, I've always wondered when somebody's in that situation, are they thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get out of this. It's only a matter of time," or are you thinking like, "Is this the beginning of me being this person for the rest of my life?"
No, actually, you be thinking like, "Damn, I'm hungry. Let me find out how I'm gonna eat."
Right.
That's all you really thinking
Pretty
about.
immediate.
You're just immediate about. You're just thinking about your day to day. You don't think about your future. You don't think about your past. You just think about that moment. You're like, all right, I'm cold. Okay, I'm hungry. Oh my God, you got McDonald's. It smells so good. So these are the thoughts that's going through your head. You're not even because you can't think straight. Because you got to feed your brain. So I would sit up, till 6. I would ride the subways, throughout the day, and just try to figure things out. And when you finally eat, then you start to figure like, okay, now what am I gonna do? No one's gonna talk to me because I'm probably dirty. So I'll go to Macy's and I'll wash up, and I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna do? So you're just trying to
Macy's.
Well, yeah, because they had great sinks. It was clean. So I go to 42nd Street, go to Macy's, what's 42nd, whatever Macy's is on, and I would just go up there and wash up in their sinks.
Really?
And that was just my life for about 6 weeks, which is a long time. People are like, oh, you was just homeless for 6 weeks. I'm like, that's a long ass time. That's
it is.
To be on the street. So
I mean, I don't camp more than 2 nights at a time.
Yeah, right.
it's hard, especially in those rat infested subway systems. You know what I'm saying? In February is cold.
yeah.
In New York.
Right.
So from there, I was trying to figure things out. Like, what am I gonna do? I guess I gotta go home. So eventually, I decided I'm gonna go home. And I was walking to make the phone call to go home. True story. I was going to go call my brother and say, "Yo, I'm coming home. I'm not gonna make it." And a card. And then this is what I was saying in my joy of my life. It fell into the snow, and I'm looking down at this card, and I'm like, do I call this card?
A business card.
A business card. So I do I call the number on a business card, or do I call my brother and go home?
What do you mean? Just a random number on a business card?
Because the thing is, like, when you're doing all these shows, people give you a bunch of business cards and things. So I had a bunch of business cards, and one of the business cards fell into the snow. I picked the business card up, and I said, I'm gonna call that number. I called the number on the business card. This girl, she answers the phone. She's like, "Oh my God, DeStorm, my boss. He loves you to death. He loves your demo. He has to meet you." And I'm just this proud ass dude. I'm like, well, if he want to meet me, he need to meet me now because I got meetings. And then she's like, "No, you can't meet him now.
I got to be at Macy's."
Right. She's like, "You're going to have to meet him in 2 weeks." And I'm like, thinking in my head, I ain't got 2 weeks. I ain't got 2 hours. I ain't have 2 minutes. So I was like, no, you know what? Never mind. Because I thought it was bull. Because it's all bull to me by that point. Everybody's bull. So I was ready to hang up on her. She said, no, let me just put Jonathan on the phone. She puts Jonathan Feingold on the phone. And Jonathan's like, "Oh my God, DeStorm, I love you, demo man. You gotta meet me." He said, "But I'm about to go out to the Hamptons and chill. I'll meet you in a week." I said, "Jonathan, man, you, man, whatever. I'm about to hang." He's like, No. Come meet me right now." So
really?
I called his bluff. I jumped the turnstile, went to the Lower East Side, and I met with Jonathan. I go into his pad, there's lace. They got platinum albums and stuff all over the
could he
bars.
tell that you were just off the street at that point? Or
He was
cleaned
going
up?
He was going by my demo.
I know, but when you walked in the room.
When I walked in the room, I don't know what the hell he was telling, but I told him my story, like, straight up. He was just running his mouth. Like, "Yeah, I can do this for you. I can do that." I was like, well, look, man. If you could do whatever for me, cut me a check. I'm living on the streets. And he was shocked. He was floored. So he cut me a check right on the spot.
And so,
that was some sort of a deal, too?
From there, I went from a hostel to a little apartment to a studio to a bigger studio. He started getting me placements on shows on MTV, VH1. I did some backing music for like Entourage. I did a lot of stuff.
And what years are we talking about?
This was I guess 2005 or 2004, 2005.
Okay.
And I started getting back into my track and field, into my fitness and everything, just in case the music didn't go well. So I just became, a better athlete. All the while, my family knew none of this was going on. So
what did they think was happening?
They thought I was just at the label working the whole time. So for me to actually start coming up and them to start hearing things, they was like, wow, you really came up. And I'm like, yep, I sure did. So it was just one of those situations. I mean, I've been through poverty, so it was nothing, like for me to like live that lie. And then they found out later. They was like, I knew something was up. I knew it. You ain't know.
Well, you talked about some of the jobs that you had. I don't know exactly what.
30 jobs.
Okay, 30 jobs.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some interesting ones: construction worker, pizza boy, security guard, stripper.
I was a stripper. I got into stripping because me and my boy Sean, this girl named Janae had a party in college, and I went to Morgan State. Then I went to Bowie State, which is a D3 school. But she had a party in college, and the stripper didn't show up. So my friends Shayna and Candace invited me and Sean. What's up, Sean? They invited us out to actually dance for them, because we were fit. So they said, why don't y'all come dance for us? We'll give you $200. A lot of money in college when you eat ramen noodles. So I was like, yeah, we'll come dance for you. So we crawled out on our hands and knees on all fours out of the bathroom, and it was 9 girls in the room. I get up on the bed, I'm dancing in front of the girls, and this big girl, she pulls down my pants, and they all start screaming. I'm like, oh. First I was embarrassed, but then I wasn't anymore. So next thing you know, my Sean's in the corner with 4 girls entertaining them, and I'm on the bed entertaining the other 5 girls. They paid us to pull out. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
That's a stripper.
That's a stripper.
You're like, that's when, in the moment you realize, I am a stripper.
I am a stripper.
She just stripped me.
Yeah, right.
She stripped me.
When you are stripped.
But the thing is, like, 5, then we started a company called 5 Guys Productions. It was me, Sean, this dude named Drez, and 2 other guys. And we would just go to different colleges, from Coppin to Morgan to Howard. And we would just go to all these different colleges, and we would just dance for college girls. And but right then I found myself, and then I was a stripper. So I started like dancing at the nightclub down.
And so that was between Baltimore and New York. That was the college experience.
The college experience.
The stripper experience.
It was fun.
Okay, so then I'm trying to connect the dots, or I'd love it to be connected between that music experience to YouTube.
Okay, so I was doing music. I work when I went to Universal Records, and I worked under like Jeff Finster. I went to Atlantic under Damon Eden, who cut me my first check for Trey Songz's first single. And from there, I started writing for a lot of artists. I met with like Miss Whitney Houston, which was amazing. Rest in peace. So I was just meeting a lot of artists and stuff. And
you met Whitney Houston in person in order to potentially write a song.
I wrote 3 songs, and they enjoyed the songs actually. But she was going through some things and stuff like that, so that was kind of crazy. But I was actually becoming a more noted writer like Neo at the time, young writer in New York. But music doesn't sell as fast, and it takes a while to get the checks and the clearing and stuff. So I knew I was good at fitness. So what I did was I got involved with fitness, and I became a personal trainer. I got my NASM, my ACE, and my EASM, which is 3 certifications through fitness. I became a personal trainer, and then eventually a master trainer. I got my strength, stretch, Pilates, and kickboxing certifications also. So I started to train a lot of clients at Crunch Fitness. Then I went over to New York Health and Racket. Then I went over to New York Sports Club for a few years also. So I'm training at New York Sports Club in Brooklyn, and I had this old-ass lady, and she was like, DeStorm, I don't remember my workouts. Can you put them on the internet for me? So I started putting workouts on MySpace.
And what do you remember her name? Because she needs a thank you note.
I
see where this is going.
I know, right? So I don't remember her name though. But I remember putting her workouts on MySpace, and she didn't.
Were you like talking to her specifically?
No,
like,
but
okay,
hello,
Miss Jenny.
Gladys.
Yeah, I was like, look, Gladys, damn it, let me put your workouts on MySpace so you could stop forgetting, damn it. Gladys, man. So I'm putting Gladys's workouts on MySpace, but she was too old. She didn't have a MySpace account. Because it was young guys, me, Tom,
Yeah.
So we're sitting on MySpace, and all of my other clients were able to log in because they had, MySpace accounts, but she didn't have one. So I was like, I gotta find somewhere else to put her workout. So I'm looking for it, and then I found YouTube. I go to YouTube and it's this whole new world. I put it on there, and when I put it on there, it was like getting all these comments. With the fitness videos, was getting comments from people I didn't know. I was like, somebody from Germany just hit my video. So then I read an article, and it was talking about guys like you and Phil Franco and stuff like that. And I was like, who are these? What do you mean? What is a YouTuber? What does that even mean? So I started studying you guys. And I'm like, wow, these guys are like, this is crazy. So that was back when, before you could just get a partnership by uploading a video. Right. This was like when you had to have those 3 stipulations, a certain amount of views, subscribers, blah, blah, blah. So I said, I'm going to fight and get these subscribers. When I get my first Google check, I'm going to be the man. So I'm trying to get my first Google check so that I can start making money on YouTube. And that's how I started getting on the whole YouTube thing.
Just fitness.
I was just doing fitness, no music at all. But then, like,
you even, like, if you go back now to your earliest videos, I think there's a lot that you made that are now private, but there's still some fitness videos there, but they kind of have a hook to them.
Oh, yeah.
That it seemed, I don't know if you changed the titles later or if you even knew from the get-go, from your studies, that you give it that title. Like, what was the high jump one? Or
Oh, yeah, it was like the highest jump ever or the best push-ups ever. I knew that I had to give it a title.
Right.
I knew that early. All those videos got millions of views. I have some of the highest viewed fitness videos on it because I knew if I titled them, I knew years down the road that people will watch them because of the title and thumbnail. I just knew that off the jump because this was back when you only could pick with the 3 thumbnails. You couldn't even upload a thumbnail.
Right.
So I was doing that. And then I said I got to become a YouTuber, not just a guy on YouTube. I have to become a personality. And that's when I think it was like 7, 8, 9. Was that was the defining moment for me because that's when I met you guys, I think.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it was 7, 8, 8, and I said I can write songs. I've been doing this all my life. I said I'm gonna make a song. It was 11 o'clock at night. I wrote the song. I'm not it's 7, 8, 9, whatever that song goes.
And just to fill people in, 7, 8, 9, July 8th, 2009.
July 8th, 2009
was a YouTube gathering of YouTube creators.
One of the first.
The first
that we went to.
It was just creator led, like some smaller YouTube channels
in New York.
Pull this thing together in New York.
Right.
We
so
flew up there and
I wrote
you and a number of people.
That's when I wrote that song, and I said I'm gonna get all these big YouTubers, and I studied all of y'all. And I said, I'm gonna get all these big YouTubers to be in my song. I said, why would they say no? It's a gathering. This is the way you do it. And if I write something and I show them that this guy has all this talent, they'll jump in. And that's when I did that. That
we were in it, right?
Yeah, you were in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah,
dude.
I studied you.
Again, a student, and then just a voracious appetite for figuring it out, and then a tenacious commitment to getting. That's what I remember from the first time I met you was voracious and tenacious, mentally, and you were gonna kill. Like you knew it, you know.
And I even made the lyrics so that everybody could want to sing it, you know.
I didn't know your backstory.
You're probably wondering what I do. Then you could come subscribe to my YouTube. And then you take a chat. I'm almost famous. And then I would just let them know that I'm almost famous because I knew one day it would crack, you know. So.
Right. Oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, so I just had like a plan, you know, and then it just all just like formulated and came together, you know.
And so the next few years, you experienced some incredible success on YouTube. And then you've been pretty public about this. In 2012, there was a change on the YouTube platform that impacted your views. You actually wrote a piece in Forbes about that.
Yeah, it's like you're the Another Day, Another Challenge guy. You did a whole year of that, which, was really sent you through the roof on YouTube. But then, in your own words, I don't know if you use the word collapse, but you tell us.
Well, I found my niche, which was doing the challenges. It was 100 challenge. I did 100 challenges. I just did them like every Monday and Wednesday. I actually talked to Joe Penn, Mr. Guitar Man, and he was like, "I'm doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. DeStorm. Why don't you do Mondays and Wednesdays? And you just blow up. Just do every 2 times a week." He's like, "If you write a good song," and I said, I just write a good song. And next thing you know, I'm making CNN and everything from National Geographic, you name it. And I'm starting to work with collaborators, not collaborators, everybody from you guys to Justine to you name it, every YouTuber. Then I think 2012 came around, late 2012, they started changing the platform. And this was back when if you had good content, especially as a musician, you can compete against the Rihannas, the Eminems, and if you had good content, you'll make front page and you just do it. It was fair. YouTube changed the platform on us. And when they changed the platform on us, I'm not going to be quiet about it. That. So I said, yeah, you changed the platform. And when they did that, I think a lot of the grandfathered channels in there started to lose a lot of the views. And my channel was hit. And I noticed, I started getting all these comments from people saying, "Oh, I didn't even get your video." And then my Twitter started blowing up, and I was like, how many of you got my video? And everybody's like, none of us. So I went to my Facebook, they're like, none of us. So I realized that, so I went and I took a trip to actual YouTube, because YouTube loved me at the time, and they still do. So I took a trip to YouTube, and I wasn't supposed to talk about it, as they say, but I don't care, man. I make my own money. I went down there and I said, is there a problem with my channel? They said, yes, there is a problem with your channel that we can't fix on the back end. They said only about 20 to 30% of your subscribers are getting your videos, and we can't really fix it. I said, well, can you at least take the over 1 million subscribers I have and push them to another channel so that I can start, because I'm tired of making content and it failing. Because as soon as they changed the platform, I went from getting 1 million views a video to literally probably like 150 to 200,000 views a video. So I'm at the top of my YouTube game, and I'm like, wait a minute, so this is not, it's not working for me anymore. So that's when I did they was like, well, we can't fix it. I said, well, you got to figure something out, because I'm losing 6, 7, so much money, and not even that, just my fans are not seeing it. So I got people complaining to me like, oh my God, we're not getting your videos, you sell out, you left us. I'm like, no, I'm posting, but you're not seeing my video. What do you want me to do? So it became a thing. So that's when I did the article for New Media Rockstar, just telling them about how YouTube was broken and they needed to fix it. Because YouTube started focusing on doing so many other things with Vivo. And I get it, it's business. But at the same time, they forgot about the little guys and people who spent their life growing YouTube and putting their name behind YouTube. And I wasn't going to be quiet about it.
But then what's the conclusion of the matter for you at this point? Was it, well, now look at me on Vine. How do you see YouTube? Did something change, or did you shift?
No, it's just like when I see something blowing up, like I watch the kids, especially like my son and him, they're like cool kids. So like if I see them on something heavy, I say, wait a minute, this must be the next thing. So he's like, Dad, are you on Vine? I'm like, what's Vine? So I say, oh God, these kids are watching it every day. So I said, if it's this audience is of their attention span is that short, and now they're watching Vine, I got to get on Vine.
But what happened on YouTube, and how do you see it now? Because
well, I see YouTube now as just a place. I see it for my personal channel. I see it as a place to put longer form content. I still love, and I know my fans are still there, the ones that can see it. I know I'm never going to probably get the views that I used to get unless I grow a new audience on there. But now that I've grown, I have almost 5 million followers on Vine already. And I can take those 5 million followers and just start telling them to go check out my YouTube videos, and I can grow a new audience that will see the videos. And although the 1 million that I lost or whatever on YouTube already are gone, I could get a whole totally new audience to start watching my longer form content. And I knew that was the overall plan. So I dedicated 1.5 years into Vine, and I grew 5 million followers. And I'm going to take those 4.5 million followers, I'm getting 400,000 followers a month on Vine.
And your YouTube channel is the home for your singles that you release.
So yeah, so now I use it for I use my music channel just to release singles and things, and a lot of them are pushed through my Vine and stuff. Like I put out a Victory Dance, and it's already hitting 600,000 views. That's good for me on YouTube.
And how much time and energy are you investing as a musician?
Well, music is my first thing, so I'm always going to invest time, but I'm not putting out EPs. Oh, I'm not putting out albums anymore. I'm just trying to get that one single, because my job, I already did a single that did 100,000 units. I put out a record, and I sold 50,000 units.
But is being a Vine comedian a real barrier to being a legitimate recording artist?
No, I don't think so, because of the type of comedy I do. Like I'm not doing I'm just being me, and they just find it funny. It's not like me acting as a character, so it doesn't take away from me as a recording artist. And plus, in the beginning, I always established that I was a recording artist. So I go in there and I just do funny stuff. And there's other, musicians on Vine that's just, do funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it hinders me. I think it.
But to be successful as either one of those things, doesn't it take everything you've got? I mean, especially with the way the music industry is today.
No, because I've gained so many relationships now. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're like, oh my God, now he's chilling with Justin Bieber now. Like, oh my God, now Drake's calling now Jake wanted to do a Vine. Nicki laughing at the Vines. Oh my God, that's so funny. You know what I'm saying? So you got all the biggest musicians in the world who I think Vine is all
right. So hold on. We got to pause now because you just dropped a couple of names, and we got it. So you're talking hanging out with Justin Bieber?
Well,
or
yeah.
Talking with Drake?
Well, yeah, because
these are real experiences.
I got a Vine with Justin. We did a Vine with Justin.
And at what point in his life was this? There's been many phases to the guy.
He has a lot of actually, he's one of the coolest dudes, man. We I go to parties. We just was at a party with him last week, so like he's a cool dude. He's just, like I think in his situation, a lot of people just don't understand. Like, it's hard. I wouldn't want to live his life because he can't even go out in the street, and it's just difficult because when I go to his house, I see lines wrapped around the corner. It's like, can you go to Chipotle? Like, it's just hard to live that life. So you just become this introvert, and it's kind of a problem hanging around. But he's cleaned himself up a lot. I've seen when he went through the whole phases of like messing with some hard stuff, and now he's like, he's good. And he's working on music again. He's doing well.
But when you talk about Drake or Nicki or any of these people, I mean, I guess your point is that your Vine status is your access to
everything,
whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Vine is different. With YouTube, it was more of an underground movement, but Vine is more of an overground movement. The traditional really latched on to Vine. That's why you see them on World Star and things like that. And actually, in reality, I get more views from my Vines on YouTube than my YouTube channel ever got, just by people putting
like a compilation.
Compilations. Yeah, my compilations do better than my entire YouTube channel. So Vine opened doors that I never was able to touch. The people that I wanted to contact, even through my YouTube, that Vine just opened those doors. We work with everybody from Kid Ink to you name them. We probably work with them on the Vine because it touched traditional media more than YouTube did.
And now your son just passed 1 million.
Yeah, my son hit
on
1 million followers on Vine. Shout out to Tavion, who hit 1 million followers on Vine. So he's killing it too.
So I mean, tell us about that, because we've got kids a little bit younger than him who are asking about starting YouTube channels, etc. And we so far they haven't done anything. But what's the status of your relationship with your son now? Does he live with you? How often do you see him?
Yeah, it's just me and him. We both live together. It's just me and him. I'm a single father who's raising him and his crazy ass friends. I feel like I'm a father to everybody, but I raise him, and he's doing well. He sees us vining and things like around that, so it makes him kind of want to do it. He got involved in it early. And he was, now he has 1 million followers on Vine. He's about to get, he just did that national Jordan commercial, with Jordan's first commercial, one of Jordan's first shoe commercials that came back. My son was the main character in that. And he's getting a lot of work, Disney, Nickelodeon. Now he's about to get like a huge manager who's going to like really just try to push his career to the next level. He's a little lazy. TV, get off your ass, but
So what's your fatherly advice for him?
I just tell him to do what he loves. Don't follow in anyone's footsteps. Do what he wants to do. Like if he wants to be a football player, doctor, astronaut, whatever he wants to do, I want him to do. I don't force him to do anything, and he just does it on his own account. I just want him to stick to something. I just tell him, don't be a quitter. That's my advice. Whatever it is he do, just don't quit. And he's doing well. He gets his own brand deals. And I can't even control that little bastard, man.
Well, you tell him not to follow in anyone's footsteps, but if he follows in yours, I think that
he'll be fine.
He'll be just fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
So yeah, we appreciate hearing your story, and I would ask you to sign the table, but unlike any other guest ever,
you just sat down and signed it.
Oh man, I mean, hey man, people at home they tempt me. They got water, coffee, and a magic marker, man. It's like, what do you want me to do? So I grabbed the magic marker and I just had to hit.
I mean, it's fine. It's done.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, and all right.
And this is done, I guess.
Thanks, man.
No doubt. Thanks for having me.
And there you have it, our ear biscuit with DeStorm Power.
I learned a few things. I think the main thing that I'm taking away from this is that if a business card ever drops in the snow, you should pick it up.
Call it. No questions asked.
Well, you should call the number on the card. You shouldn't call the card. You should call the number on the card.
How would I call the card? What do you mean, like a dog?
I said pick the card up. You said call it. You mean the number on the card.
That's right. Thank you for clarifying. I know that you're sitting there and whatever you're sitting in or on or listening to us and you were totally confused.
Some of you are maybe jogging. Maybe you're jogging.
Thank you for clarifying that. Let DeStorm know what you think of his story and his conversation with us, tweet at him. It's DeStorm and use hashtag earbiscuits. That's DE-Storm. As in the thing where like lightning and thunder happens.
Now in the TV movie that we're working on for DeStorm's life, I do think that when the business card drops into the snow that there should be a beam of light on it because we can really sensationalize things.
Right, and then the snow starts to melt. No, the business card, when it falls, it melts all the snow around it and it can have a mouth and it can start talking.
That's a little weird. That's going too far. Then you really could call the card.
A little mixed media action happening there.
Special effects?
Yeah, claymation. It's going to be a claymation business card, and it's going to be like, DeStorm, call the number written on me.
So
change your future.
Look forward to that in 2018.
But we're going to start working on it immediately. We'll be Instagramming from the set.
Yep. And you know what? That may be the final thing that causes us to start a Vine. You know, making DeStorm the movie. Because, I mean, I got to tell you, I will say that every time we talk to someone who has a Vine presence, which I know we talked to Alpha Cat and now we've talked to DeStorm. Have we talked to anybody else who's really killing it on Vine? I don't know.
Not yet.
We will do that more in the future. And
you'll feel the pressure to join.
I always feel this pressure like, oh man, it's only 6 seconds, right? I mean, we could do that. We can carve that kind of time out, right?
What pressure do you feel having listened to this Ear Biscuit with us? I hope it is a pressure to feel less pressure and just to lay back and enjoy what we're pumping into your ear holes.
Negative pressure?
Yeah.
Feel the negative pressure. That's what we should have called this show.
AKA the suction.
Feel the suction.
On your ear holes. Nope. That's not t-shirt material.
Nope. Okay.
Just listen next week.
Yeah, we'll be here.